I know there's been a lot made of a YouTube user who has recently been changing his religion or a lack of religion more frequently than anyone I've ever heard of in my life. I don't know him personally though, so this is not going to be just about him. It's going to be about what I feel is the underlying issue here with people going through what he's going through. Having never been a believer, stories of deconversion are pretty interesting to me, since I don't expect to ever have that experience, and I've heard several such stories on YouTube. A common thread in the stories that I hear of deconversions is that there is a lot of inner turmoil that goes on when a person goes from devout believer to non-believer. That's really not too surprising when you think about it. When I ask any of my friends that are very observant Christians how would they feel if they suddenly knew that there was no God, the reactions typically range from sadness and despair to barely muted panic. If they suddenly knew that the warm embrace of an all-powerful parental figure did not exist, the rest of their world would just melt. And that makes belief in God a very difficult belief to dislodge, never mind the cultural and social aspect of it that nearly all of the world's creation myths benefit from. I often think about when people go through that period where they have realized that there isn't evidence to believe that their religion is true, but have not yet decided that they care more about evidence than they care about believing something that makes them feel safe and secure. Now, to be clear, I do not see religiosity as having the same types of consequences as drug abuse, at all. So this analogy is based only on the underlying psychology of it. It sounds like what substance abuse counselors would call a dry drunk, someone that has stopped using a substance to make them feel better, but has not yet done anything to change the underlying conditions that made the addiction possible. This is what can cause someone to swear off alcohol, but then try heroin if they don't get counseling to deal with the pain in their lives. If someone does not feel safe or secure in a world where they have realized that there is no evidence for a loving, all-powerful deity, people will simply find another religion that works for them, even if there's no more evidence for that than the last religion or sect that they joined. I do not know this for sure, but based on what I've heard from other people that have deconverted, this sounds a lot like where the Woods of Jordan is now in his life. I would also guess that the many Christian apologists out there that used to be atheists are in that same category. They hadn't rejected belief without evidence or knowledge through faith, so they just took one of the many religious offers that inevitably came along. I'm also very interested to hear what Jordan's Christian friends will tell him now that he's back in the flock. Will they tell him what kind of music he should like? Will they tell him to remove some of the atheists that he has befriended from his favorite channels on his page? Will he change his mind again about his religion? I have no idea what the future holds for him, but as with most people in the world, I wish him well.